y'all. Welcome to your Homegirl podcast, the show where we talk all things real estate and real life. I'm Katie, your homegirl in title, and each week I sit down with incredible female real estate agents and lenders to talk about how they're building businesses, balancing life, and their secrets to success. So without further ado, let's dive in. Hey y'all, I have an amazing guest today that I know you are going to learn so much from. Her name is Chrissy Valentine. She's an Arizona realtor, a mom of three, creator of Open House Mastery that we will definitely dive into further. She's sold over 100 homes, spent nearly 5 years helping lead and grow a mega team where she saw firsthand the difference between agents who turned their wheels versus the agents that scaled. So now she helps agents, and especially our mom agents, we love that, shortcut the hard lessons she's learned and build connection-based businesses that actually work with their life. How could you not love that? So thanks, Chrissy, for
What an
joining.
intro. Okay, thank you.
Well deserved, well deserved. So,
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me today.
of course, no, thanks for joining. I think there is so many takeaways that you'll be able to share because I see all the time, not just from my own clients, but just the Moms in Real Estate group that we're both part of. Agents ask all the time, how can I be more successful with open houses? And that seems to be your wheelhouse. So we'll dive into that for sure. But why don't we start with how you got into real estate in the first place? How long you've been in the business?
Gotcha. I've been in the business for 8 years, and I think just like many of us, we fell into it as like a second career. Like we all had that first career, and we thought maybe this will be fun. We'll go ahead and do this as well. So for me, it was that we bought a house. I thought it was just a fun experience to have. I found a Groupon for a real estate school and decided to go through that. And so
Amazing.
I had my license, figured might as well help a couple people. And then just life changed. I was a social worker for 15 years. And I hit this point like 6 months into having my license when I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like
Yeah.
social work, 15 years, I was helping to run programs. Like your heart breaks enough. And you're like, I have to leave. So I left that salary job with benefits and all that and came into real estate because why not? So but that's how I landed here. And through it, like I wondered a lot at the beginning about what is this jump that I'm making? Going from
Mhm.
social work to real estate is such a big gap when you think about that.
Yeah.
And then what I learned really early on, like a couple months in, was that we're not in sales. We're in the business of creating relationships with clients for life.
Yes.
Like we're guiding people through these big chapters of their lives. And that's what I did before. I guided families through foster care and adoption. And so those skills that I learned early on, 15 years is not early, but 15 years shelter work kind of helped me to connect with families to figure out what they really needed, to figure out what solutions I could find to solve their problems. And that's how I kind of landed into real estate.
Yeah, it's amazing. So you've always been on the agent side as a solo agent. And then how did the leading the mega team come about?
I got into real estate and I just wanted to sell homes. Like literally that was it. I was done running programs and doing all that. And so first year I did well. And then like during my second year of real estate, I connected with the team. And they told me a couple months in there, we want you in leadership. And I said, I just want to sell homes. Well, within 6 months of that, I was on the leadership team. And I was helping to kind of recruit, train. I was that front end for agents. Like I would bring agents on, help train them, and kind of guide them through the process of getting to real estate. Because real estate school honestly teaches us nothing about real
Yeah.
estate.
Yeah.
So I was guiding agents through that. And over the years, I saw this patterns repeating themselves of like, hey, what are the mistakes that we're making in open houses? What are the mistakes we're making in Legion and setting up a business? It mirrored my own story because that first year in real estate, I did a lot of open houses. That's how I built my business. But the thing is that no one teaches you how to do it.
Yeah.
Like you get your license and then like, I'm sure you see this all the time. Agents are told go do open houses. And
Yeah.
so you go and sit at the open house with no clue what to do. And you know the square footage of an acre. That's great, but it
Yeah.
doesn't tell you at an open house.
Yes.
And so I sat there and just kind of had a mistake over mistake over mistake of defining like, how do I do an open house? So everything that I teach now, like we left the team, dissolved the team about a year and a half ago, and I still have this heart for teaching. So I put together a class. But what I put together was all the mistakes I've made and I've seen agents make over 7 years of doing open houses.
Yeah.
So how do I put that together in a way? And I'm bringing it to agents now to hopefully shortcut that because it took me years to figure out. And if I can shorten that for even one agent out there, that's what I'm hoping to do.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing. What do you think is the biggest mistake that agents are making with open houses?
Gosh, you asked me that, and I'm like, oh, I got to think of an answer. Oh, but I would say the number one mistake that I see agents making is quitting too soon on open houses. Like they'll do one or two and it doesn't have this massive result that they're looking for. And so they'll say, I'm not doing it. Like
Yeah.
open houses don't work is a very common phrase. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
this video. Open houses don't work. They
Yeah.
see it a lot. And I'm like, well, how many did you do? Well, I did two and nobody came. Like, well, that's not a sample size. I'm sure you know that too. Like, it's not a good sample size when you only do two.
Mm.
So, but if you continue with it and if you have a system behind it, it absolutely can turn into one of the best lead gen pillars you have. I mean, it's only free one left.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Like, leads are
Yeah.
expensive.
For sure. So, what does your course look like for people? If people are like struggling with open houses, they come to you. What does next steps look like for them?
So the course itself is a 4-week course. It's 90 minutes a week, and 4 weeks. And the reason it's spaced out is so that we can do open houses in between. It's very live, very interactive. We're taking what we learned, just dissecting it, kind of processing it, kind of seeing what we could do better next time. So the
Mhm.
structure of the course is week one, we talk about like how do we set up? It kind of mirrors that journey of an open house. How do we set up for an open house? What are our expectations? I talk a lot about tracking because I've met so many agents that want to track, but they don't know how to. Like, what
Mhm.
metrics do we track that actually move the needle forward in our businesses? So that's
Right.
week one. And then week two, we dive into like, what is our goal with an open house? How do we have a strong value proposition? Because we need to
Mhm.
have a strong value proposition
Yeah.
out there. And then how do we ask for an appointment to sit down with somebody to discuss
Yeah.
their journey? What is the process of doing that? Because what I see a lot with agents is they just hope, like they meet somebody and they hope they're going to pick them.
Yeah.
Like, well,
Yeah.
there's a way to ensure that they pick you, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's week two. And then week three, we dive into the objections. There's such a
Mhm.
common thing in real estate. And I know a lot of agents shy away from those. Like, we don't want to handle objections. They're difficult if they have objections. The reality is, if they have an objection, that's a great thing. They are asking you questions. They want to move forward with you. So, how do we
Right.
handle that? Like, how do we manage and navigate that process? I welcome objections because I'm like, great, you're talking to me. I get to learn
You're
more about
invested. Yeah.
Yes. And then in week four, we kind of tie it all together and see like, where do we go from here? Because
Mhm.
as you continue to do open houses, you're building a database to the point where you don't have to continue to add leads. So how do we follow up in a way that's going to ensure repeat and referral clients so that year three, year four, year five of your business looks very different than year one?
Yeah. For
So
sure.
that's in essence the whole course. Like, and it really very much mirrors my journey because when I started, I did 3 to 5 open houses a week with no idea what I was doing.
Wow.
And to the
That's a lot.
point, it is a lot. Like, I was schlepping those signs and like the rocks. And I don't know if you've seen people do open houses, but we have those like big A-frames that we stick the
Mhm.
rocks in. And so I'd
Ah,
put on the back of my car, and that's what I was doing every single week. But to the point though, like as I continue to grow and scale and I had processes in place to keep in touch with my clients, I'm in year 8 and 80% of my business comes from repeat and referral clients
that's
from
what
people I've met in open
dream
houses.
would be, right? Yeah.
That people that I met at open houses. So when you build a business that is connection based and you're able to put leads into that system, they continue
Mhm.
to nurture and grow over time. You can build a business that feeds your life
Yeah.
without having to work too hard. So
Yeah. That would be the goal, right?
yeah.
What do you think is a tip for someone that is like, I don't know how to build a connection based business? Like, what does that mean? You know what I mean? Like, what kind of advice do you have for someone that's kind of lost on how to bring that to life?
Gosh, that's so tough because I know in the first year of real estate, you want to close the deals because you need that income coming in. Like, and we
Right.
call that commission breath. I'm sure everyone's heard that. Like, that's that commission breath. How do we combat that? Because that's what we need to get through to get to the ability to build a connection with somebody.
Right.
And then when you're so desperate to get business, people can tell. Like they can
Hmm.
tell. I know we're going to do whatever I can to get this deal done. The reality is, like, if you build it correctly, you'll find the right people. And it's
Yes.
actually sustainable over time. As
Yeah.
opposed to like bending this way for this client, bending this way for this client, then you never actually have a process in place.
Right.
So Yeah. Biggest tip is work on that mindset and like set up what your process looks like for you.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe hone in on what your ideal client looks like is so you focus on them and be okay with letting go the people that don't necessarily fit that criteria, which I get is very scary in the beginning before you have, a ton of business. It feels like you can't afford to let any of them go. But I just talked about this on the Moms in Real Estate podcast about how if you're brave enough to finally make that shift, it opens the door and frees up your time and energy for the right type of people, and it will
And that
come.
is so terrifying though, Katie. Like saying
Yes,
no.
we've all been there. I've been there.
Yeah. Like seriously been there. We're like, we need this to close. What do you need me
Yes.
to do? Like
Right.
I've been where not me, but I've had my husband do repairs in the house. I've had like little things like just bent over backwards to do things to make things close. And it just sucked away your time and your
Yeah.
energy. Like I hate to say, but like your soul, like you start leaking pull me out of
Yes.
real estate. So, but how do we keep
Yes.
focused? Like how do we build that business that feels good? So
Yeah, for sure. Are there any like actual tools that you recommend that have been lifesavers for you, whether it's like a CRM or just anything that has been helpful for you?
oh, my CRM keeps me organized. I don't know how anybody does business without a CRM. So that has been a lifesaver for me to keep everyone organized because that's where I keep all my notes. I have three
Yeah.
kids. I'll forget things. I don't know, moms out there, if you still forget things, like you do.
Oh, for sure. I have one and I fall on the mom brain crutch all the time.
Well, I when you walk into a room, you forget why you're there. Hey,
Yes. Quite a
so
look for my phone while it's in my
yeah,
hand.
in her hand with the flashlight on, like where could it be? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally me. But that's why we have a CRM. to
Mhm.
to keep that stuff in line. So when I do open houses, I literally like I open my, this is a little tip if anyone wants to use it. I open my notes app in my phone and just talk to
Mm.
text everything that they told me.
So
Everything they
smart.
told me, like down to like the names of their dogs and like the schools they go to. And like all of that information is captured because mom
Yeah.
brain will forget it.
Yeah.
And then before I leave the open house, I copy and paste all those notes into my CRM. So I have them.
Well, that so helpful because one, we always think we're going to remember things. And then 20 minutes later, we're like, oh, what did they say about that? But two, you also just tied into the relationship part of it because you're putting in notes that are like like you said, the name of their dog or those little details that make them feel like, oh, we really did like share a connection. She remembered these details about me. And when people feel special, it helps, build that relationship. So I love that. I feel like that's a huge takeaway for people.
Well, that's one thing I say to agents. I mentor agents as well. One of the things I say all the time is like people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Mm,
And so,
yeah.
like we as females are, I think we're conditioned and naturally able to share how that connection piece of it. Like that's very
Mhm.
us. Like as moms, especially, is like we seek that connection. And that connection doesn't come from like a checklist of knowing somebody.
Right.
It comes from actually knowing them, like down to like we brought it up, but like the name of the dog. Like maybe
Yeah.
like the story of the dog. What are the kids? What do the kids like? That's how us moms connect. And if we can bring that into real estate and into our open houses, that super skill that we have, it's
Mhm.
amazing. We make some great
Yeah.
friends. So
Yeah. Amazing. Well, if someone wants to join your course, what's the best way to reach out to you? We'll obviously tag all your social media, but is there like a website or something people should go to?
I do have a website. It's ChrissyValentine.com, the CHRISSY. And I think you have the link to that.
Mhm.
I wanted to call it something different, but my coach was said that your name sounds really cool, so you should probably just do that.
Yeah.
So it's there, but that's it. And so there's information on the entire like open house course on that website. Like what does the cohort look like? What do you get out of it? And kind of there's a little quiz on there too about like how are your open houses so far? So you can kind of rank yourself on how you're doing. It's pretty fun. So
Yeah.
how you find me.
Well, I love that. Like you said, it's one of the free ways to generate business. So if you can master that skill and not have to spend money on something, I mean, what else could you ask for
Yeah.
really in this business? So, well, this has been so helpful, Chrissy. Thank you so much for joining today. I will make sure we tag your website and all your social media so people can follow you, reach out to you, and hopefully start transforming their open houses to generate business for them sooner rather than later. So, thank you so much for joining.
Thanks for having me on, Katie.
Hey y'all, if today's episode brought you value, take a second to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps ladies in real estate find these conversations. And if you're ready to grow your real estate business with smoother transactions and a trusted partner in your corner, shoot me a message or follow below. I'd love to be your homegirl too.